welcome to GGSP. I'm Rad. Today on the show, we have so much stuff. We've got sponges, we've got SquarePants, we've got ninjas, we've got bubblegum, and we've probably got some other stuff too. Yes, everyone's favorite absorbent yellow hero is back in our review of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
It's my magic wishing chill.
Wow, that's great, Patrick.
And we check out Ninjala, the new free-to-play brawler all about chewing gum and hitting ninjas with foam paddles and yo-yos. Oh, that looks pretty fun. But you know, ninjas are not to be underestimated. They could be anywhere, at any time, waiting to pounce. No, we better get the show started.
Throwing the switch. Oh, hey, hello? Wait! No!
Wouldn't it be great if we had real robots to play with, Patrick?
Yeah, these unreal robots are getting boring.
Just my size.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is, for starters, breaking my sacred rule of 2 to 3 word game titles max, and also a remake of the 2003 platformer. The days of the PS2 and original Xbox. My, how time flies. But what hasn't changed, though, is the wacky antics of everyone's favourite sea creatures. Plankton being Plankton has once again had an evil plan spectacularly backfire, as his army of robots turns against him and goes on a rampage through Bikini Bottom. So our pint-sized supervillain enlists the help of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy to sort out his mess and take down the robot menace. Now, I've never played the original, so I have no nostalgia to fall back on, and like most of you spawnlings, I'm coming into this as a first-timer. And as a first-timer, my first thought jumping in was, this game feels old. While there is an obvious improvement in how it looks, all bright and colourful and 3D, it still feels like a game I'd play on the PS2. The whole campaign hinges on finding golden spatulas around each area, which you use to unlock new locations, which you then explore to find more spatulas. It's a big old collectathon is what I'm saying. The levels you get to run around in are all very cute, from sandy beaches to lush fields to neon-bathed slopes. All are littered with enemies and obstacles you'll have to destroy and/or navigate around using the abilities of our 3 heroes. SpongeBob can blow bubbles and launch missile attacks. Sandy can use her lasso to crush enemies and cross great distances, and Patrick can throw heavy objects. Sandy was by far my favourite, and every opportunity I got to play as her was awesome. Swinging between boys and lassoing unsuspecting robots. I just wish that changing characters wasn't such a slog.
Help me find Patrick. I have a task that I think he can help me with.
You have to go to bus stops set up around the area to change to another character that level allows you to play as. It's just such an unnecessary hassle, especially without a mini-map to look at. You just have to retrace your steps, trying to remember where you saw it anytime you want to change over. It's little things like that that show that this is less of a remake and more of a remaster, just adding a shiny coat of paint on top as opposed to improving the product itself. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy myself, because I definitely did at times. The combat, though very easy, is fluid, and there's enough variety in enemy types to keep things flowing and feeling fresh. It might even be too easy for some, but the way I look at it, there are plenty of games out there whose sole purpose is to drive you nuts. It's nice to just run around doing simple tasks without the threat of failure hanging over your head. And I won't lie, it is quite the ego boost to walk into any level and know that you are the most powerful creature there, even as a 4-inch tall sea sponge. There is also a multiplayer horde mode too, which you can play online or in local co-op, but it's not exactly the most thrilling gaming experience. But it does let you play as Gary though, so I mean, do with that what you will. At the end of the day, I feel that Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a fine game, but one that's wasted too many opportunities to bring itself into the era of next-gen consoles. Something its fancy new look can't hide, and in fact, maybe exaggerates a bit. I'm sure for those who played the original, seeing this classic rejuvenated, or in this case rehydrated, would be quite the trip down memory lane. But for me, there just wasn't enough here to capture my interest.
Take that!
No matter how many SpongeBob memes you throw my way. So I'm giving SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
It's time for the scoop! There's loads of gaming news to discuss, so let's get cracking! First up, some Kingdom Hearts news. A rhythm game called Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory is due out for the current generation of consoles later this year. It will feature songs from the Kingdom Hearts games and Disney's music catalogue. This is in addition to Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, which just arrived on mobile. Moving along now to some more news, and Adelaide-based developer Team Cherry has been challenging fans to decode a series of riddles in order to reveal info about new NPCs for upcoming game Hollow Knight Silksong. Rising to the task, players have solved their way to reveal NPCs like the Huntress, described as a towering old predator, and the sneaky thief known as a snitch bug. Gotta love all that rich Hollow Knight lore. Lore. How do you like it? How do you like it? Lore. We also heard about Rocket League celebrating its 5th anniversary with a special event running until the 13th of July. The Spike Rush and 2v2 Heat Seeker limited modes will be part of the merriment, as well as some festive in-game items. Happy birthday, Rocket League! In other news, we've been treated to a tiny update, or should I say, cupdate, about the upcoming Cuphead animated series. Netflix has shown off some behind-the-scenes glimpses of the Cuphead show, including some of the animation art and the introduction of the actors voicing Cuphead and Mugman themselves. And now for the extra scoop! The clever team from Arc Attack are known for designing musical Tesla coil systems. That is, they use the electric coil device invented by the brilliant 19th century inventor Nikola Tesla to make music. Amongst their latest covers is the Animal Crossing theme. Also featuring the talents of a robot drummer. Rock on, my robo-dude. What a lightning strike of genius. And that's all we have for the scoop this week. Until next time, farewell. Maybe I don't actually need to have a signature sign-off.
All right, Jem, give it your best shot.
Okay, here we go. Ninjala!
I'd say it's more like Ninjala.
That was pretty good. Okay, let's try again. Ninjala! Ninjala is a free-to-play multiplayer battle game that has finally landed exclusively on the Switch. Hey, Will, do you want to try and take a crack at explaining this game's wacky world?
I'll certainly try. Long ago, the world was guarded by a clan of ninja whose powers may have come from an asteroid. It's not overly clear. Now, decades later, the World Ninja Association has been formed in order to find the next generation of warriors. These potential candidates must fight to prove their worth. There's also a mysterious property known as Ninja Gum that helps fighters summon the strength of Shinobi.
Let's go!
Ninja Gum Battle Royale, I got it all right.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and nice segue there mentioning the gum, as it does form this game's sticky foundations. There's your standard light and heavy attacks. You can dash and run up walls, but the big game changer is that your weapon can be almost anything. Due to the power of the Ninja Gum, your melee attack can be a simple Ippon katana, a yo-yo with ranged abilities, or even a donut. Plus, you can summon a big bubble of gum to shoot at an enemy or help you construct a larger, more powerful weapon. You can also morph into items scattered around the map for a short time. Taking the idea that a ninja can blend into any environment to the extreme.
And if bonking people over the head with a corn cob wasn't fun enough, the whimsical ninja gum allows for a whole variety of special moves. Once your super move is fully charged, you can unleash its devastating ability. From a dragon that deals damage to your closest enemy, to a sticky wad of gum that instantly knocks out your opponent. Taking cues from its squiddy shooty brother, Splatoon, Ninjala just oozes charm and style in all its strange attacks. Now, with so many moves and attacks at my disposal, I did find the controls a little confusing up front. Using the right trigger for my basic attack just didn't feel as intuitive as I'd like.
While I agree it is a bit of a shake-up to the expected control layout, I actually didn't find it that off-putting. Mapping each move to a designated button took away the reliance on button combos and made combat feel more streamlined in a way. I know that the right trigger will give me a quick jab and the X button will launch my special move. The online battle arena is punishing enough without having to worry about playing Twister with your digits.
Yeah, that's a fair point. No matter how confident I thought I was with the controller, it did not help online. There's currently 2 game modes on offer, a simple 8-player battle royale match or a 4v4 team battle. Whilst it's nice to have teammates backing you up, nothing really tops the exhilarating rush of the battle royale, desperately trying to accumulate more points than all of your fellow ninja, which I rarely did. Those smug anime faces will haunt me forever, alongside the soft sobbing of my poor failed ninja.
I will say though, despite the chaos, there is still room to plan your attacks. After about your 20th KO, you'll need to start taking note of your opponent's attacks. Taking a moment to decipher how the flurry of movement worked and what it did to you, you can try to get the upper hand. Try being the important word here.
Oh, can I take out 2 of you with one go? Never mind. Fine.
There's a surprising amount of depth hidden beneath this fast-paced button-mashing combat.
Though if, like me, brain is slow, you only have to wait and sit in shock for about 3 seconds before you're thrust back into battle. And aside from opponents, you can also destroy respawning drones. With each respawn, they grow in size and point value. Again, like Splatoon, if you're not confident in taking the brunt of the fight, you can just try and earn a few additional points by taking on the optional objectives. Again, try being the important word.
Ah, those pesky ninja, there's no escape. Now this game requires a constant internet connection, so you should absolutely keep that in mind. The game constantly checks to make sure you're still online with every button you press. Even the opening tutorial videos aren't in-game, they pop up in a separate browser tab. Despite relying on a steady connection though, it took no time to find a match online. So it's safe to say the servers are holding steady. Plus, you won't need Nintendo's paid online subscription for the multiplayer, so you'll just need to make sure your fellow ninjas have a strong internet.
I think what Jem was gonna say there was you need to have a strong internet connection. How ironic. Well, while you wait for your mates to jump back online, you can always check out the single player mode. You'll take on the role of up-and-coming ninja Van, as he's trained by his master ninja grandpa. The story is told in these lovely motion comic panels, and each episode acts as a little training mission, teaching you how to fully utilize your abilities. We also get to experience a lot more of Ninjala's weird, charming world, and fight some bizarre alien bosses. Only the first chapter has dropped so far, but I'm super keen to see how much deeper into the weird we get to go. The only downside is that you can't play the story mode on the go because you'll still need a solid
internet connection. Yeah, it's sad there wasn't more to do offline, like maybe a version with both modes filled with AI baddies. There's also only 2 maps in rotation as well, and whilst they each offer a unique landscape to traverse and fight upon, the game does currently feel a little lacking in content, but given how quickly the community has jumped on board, hopefully we'll see it expand in the future.
But Jem, we do have to talk about the Ninja Gum elephant in the room. Despite being free to play, Ninjala does have microtransactions. Pretty quickly, you're introduced to the game's Ninja Pass system, with points earned unlocking different tiers, which unlock different items. You want any of that, you'll have to pay for the pass. There's also a few cosmetic items that can be bought from the store, and the story mode itself is a pay-to-play on a chapter-by-chapter basis. And after being sold on this being a free experience, it kind of hurts to see dollar signs.
Yeah, I'd happily pay for the game just to avoid seeing those dreaded microtransactions, because what I do see here is a pretty fun multiplayer experience. There's some really unique abilities and attacks that I'm so keen to master. Plus, jumping online with friends only heightens the chaos and colour. Yeah, I did a thing! I'm giving Ninjala a solid 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
It's just simple, frantic fun, right? Though I have my controller troubles early on, the constant thrill of the beat 'em up makes it pretty hard to put down. So I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Ninjala!
Ninjala!
Alrighty, another week, another Ask SP. No time to waste, let's begin barreling through this beguiling bunch of gaming queries. Starting off with this video from Violet and Felix.
Hi GGSP, we love your show. I'm Violet. And I'm Felix. And our parents won't let us get games that are too expensive, so do you recommend any free games on the Apple Arcade? Thanks, bye!
Oh, thanks Violet and Felix. So, Apple Arcade isn't actually free. It's a game subscription service. While they currently offer a free 1-month trial period, it then requires an ongoing monthly payment. That means you can play all the Apple Arcade games without paying for them individually. It's all covered by the subscription, and there are some good games on there. I love the road planning sim mini motorways, or the thoughtful puzzler Assemble with Care. Or you can check out the neon musical motorcycle racer Sayonara Wild Hearts. Or pinball with a twist in the Pinball Wizard. Or the wacky sporting hijinks of What the Golf, or Cricket Through the Ages. And that's just to name a few. But it's really up to your trusty grown-ups to decide if they think it's worth that monthly cost. But if you're looking for some fun free games for your mobile device, then maybe check out the bopping Road Crossing of Crossy Road and Disney Crossy Road. Or the excellent tower defense titles Plants vs. Zombies 1 and 2, soon to be joined by Plants vs. Zombies 3. Then there's the board game like Armello, strategy game Clash of Clans, or any of the Angry Bird games. And you might like to try Mario Kart Tour, Pokemon Go, or Animal Crossing Pocket Camp for some mobile-style experiences of those well-known gaming series. Although, as we always say, watch out for in-game transactions and ads, especially with free-to-start games. Right, now moving on to another question, and this one comes from Sanduni in Hampton Park, Victoria. Dear GGSP, how do you turn sheep into rainbow sheep in Minecraft? Oh, and if you don't answer, it'll turn you into Minecraft noobs. Mwahahaha. Oh, and Darren, do these. Oh, some emoticons for Darren. I better get him on the line.
Hello, you've reached Darren.
Hey, Darren. Just some emoticons from you, please.
Oh, splendid. Grill. Tears for Fears. The Love Boat. Gotta wear shades. Cyclops.
Thanks, Darren. And thanks for your question, Sanduni. Oh, Darren, would you like to do the honors of explaining how you change a sheep into a rainbow sheep in Minecraft?
Oh, affirmative! Now, if you want to give Minecraft sheep a Technicolor makeover, if you're playing in survival mode, you'll need an anvil, which can be crafted with 3 iron blocks and 4 iron ingots. You'll also need a name tag, which, unless you have cheats enabled, you'll have to find instead of craft. They can be found in chests in dungeons, or nether fortresses, or sometimes through trade, or even fishing. Otherwise, you can just search for them in the inventory if you're playing in creative mode. So, with your anvil, name tag, and a sheep, of course, open the anvil menu, place the name tag into the slot, and then type in Jeb_. It will cost you 1 experience level. Grab the Jeb tag, then simply equip it and approach your sheep. Click on the sheep to name it Jeb and look on in awe as your sheep's fleece cycles through the various colors. Alternatively, if you're in creative mode, you can use an anvil to name a spawn egg Jeb_ as well. These colourful, chameleon-like sheep are also known as Jeb sheep or disco sheep. Ah, boogie boogie. I love the nightlife. I like to boogie.
Oh, so groovy. Well, thanks, Darren. Bye.
Bye-bye.
on over to our next question, and it's a video from Jessie.
Hi GGSP. I have 2 questions for you. Question 1. Does the iOS version of Terraria have the Journey's End update? Question 2. What is the most dangerous ghost in Luigi's Mansion 3? By the way, do you like my sunglasses?
Thanks, Jessie. To answer your first question, unfortunately, the iOS version of Terraria does not currently have the Journey's End update. According to the Terraria website, Journey's End is being evaluated for possible porting to mobile devices, but there's no timetable for a release yet, so who knows if or when it might actually happen. And the same goes for the current generation of consoles. As for the most dangerous ghost in Luigi's Mansion 3, well, that depends on a few things. The hammer ghosts generally have solid HP, for example, but some ghosts just have pesky abilities, like the Slinkers, that seem to come out of nowhere and can use Toad as a shield. Oh, dastardly! The multiplayer Scarescraper mode also has rare versions of ghosts that can have other abilities, like health regeneration or bombs they can throw, which can be pretty menacing. At least you can take these on with friends. But if we're talking about boss fights in story mode, well, I found my main challenge was more in managing the timing and controls, rather than the ghosts being that dangerous themselves. For example, the fight with Clem in the Boiler Works is pretty tricky, but it's mostly due to having to maneuver yourself around that pool of water using the poltergust. As for my thoughts on your sunglasses, Jessie, those are some sweet shades. Very cool. But that's all the time we have for Ask SP this week. If you've got a question you'd like to ask us, then go here and send it in. And make it a video question, and if it ends up on the show, we'll send you some cool GGSP loot. So much coolness. You know, it's making me want to pop on my own sweet shades. Check this out. Clip. They're clip-on sunglasses. How cool is that?
Well, will you look at the time? It appears we're out of time for this week, but next week on the show, it's an exciting one because I get to become Iron Man. Well, as close as I'll ever get to be. I'll be reviewing the full virtual reality experience of Marvel's Iron Man VR.
Tony, quit screwing around.
Just building the suspense, Nick.
Pew pew! Pew pew pew! Also next week, we'll be checking out a bunch of new mobile games. From a trip to the center of the Earth in Little Orpheus, to playing golf on Mars, and running a Pokemon Cafe in Pokemon Cafe Mix. And of course, make sure to check out the ABC Me app for some snack-sized GGSP. This week, Rad escapes to the wilderness in a look at the woodland survival of Among Trees. But until next time, may all your games be Iron Man. Pew pew, well out.
Gem out.
Right out.